Hello, beautiful people. Very early this morning, I stepped into the pen. There was not enough daylight, so I could not do a video then. So I had to check on the feeds for this Ross 38. I discovered that most of it were already messy. I've not been able to introduce the big feeders yet due to some logistics reasons. I gave out the feeders to a neighbor of mine and she's not around for me to get it, so it's been a challenge to get these feeders for these guys at this point in time. So I'll still make do of these little feeders for the meantime, although it's affecting their growth in a way, but I will just manage. So I topped up their water. They are still on plain water. Had a change of plans of giving them gomboro, so that's why I'm still giving them plain water for now. So I was supposed to give them continue with the cocido start, but I think I'm just going to pass and give them gomboro vaccine by tomorrow morning. So they are on plain water now. I'm just giving them that plain water for a reason. It just came to my mind for me to just, stop the cocido start for a while and then give them gomboro, in the sense that I'll be selling most of them as after brooding chicks. So I need to give them full vaccination before they are being sold out. Already, I've got some clients that are coming in and bargaining for these birds already. So these are the Abor Acre. Most of them will start going out this week. So I was supposed to change this litter, but getting a new litter now is a bit challenging. A lot of people are stocking in birds this period, so the wood shaving is a bit scarce around my region. So what I will do, I will just turn this stuff. And I noticed that at night, since I only have light in this area, they tend to cluster around this area. So down there, has been covered with the zinc. They don't stay there at night. So in that process, this place is more messy than down there. So what I'll do, I'll take off these zincs that I used in covering them. Why I cover those zincs there, so that the level of cold at night will be a bit less. But despite that, the birds still cluster around this area. So what I'll do, I'll take off those zincs. Till this litters a little bit, and they will be fine. So the guys that are making noise on the background are the Noilers. I think their feet are already out. So chill with me, guys, while I do this adjustment, and I will be right back with you guys. So guys, I'm done tilling this space where the Abor Acre is. So on stepping into this their space, I noticed that the place is a bit warm. This space is a bit tight for them. It's not too free. So at some point it's a little bit warm, and coupled with the old litter. The old litter is a bit old, so it has some warm texture inside of it. It's not yet molding. So I think it's still good to go. They can still make do of this. It's just that area where they were clustering more was a bit more messy. So tilling the litter has helped them a little bit. Why I've been tilling this one has been working for me, because of the quantity of litter is quite much. Like you can see here, it's a bit thick compared to what I usually do. So that's why I've been able to still use it. This litter have been here for 2 weeks, So, and I think I'll still leave them with this, because it's also adding some warmth for them. And the next thing I did was to raise the water line up a little bit, because it was a little bit down. So when it's too down, you tend to see things like this, all these wood shaving droppings, because while they are scattering the floor, the normal chicken way of scattering the floor, searching for stuffs on the litter, some of the litter get to splash on the feet. So you can see here, I've raised it up a little bit, so it's still within their reach. The water level is supposed to be on their head level, so that they don't have to be squatting to drink water, because when they start squatting to drink water, they start having issues with their leg. So when they stand upright and drink water, it helps their legs to be more firmer and stronger. So these birds are 2 weeks old and a day, so their growth is still nice, but I'm not totally satisfied, in the sense that I feel there should be a little bit more than this. So I'm thinking maybe it's because of the feed, we are not enough for them at a certain point before I introduce the big feeder. So another thing again, I heard someone complaining about a similar challenge, but his was a bit worse than this, that his birds were not growing very well. A neighbor of mine So he now told me that about the feed, and it's still the same brand of feed that I use. So he told me that the feeds were already expired, some of them. So when he opened one, he noticed some funny odor. So, and I remember I didn't even check the expiring date of mine after opening. I used to check, but I don't know, this particular set I didn't check. So it got me worried and thinking. So it's very important, guys, for you to check the expiring date of your feed. And if you perceive anything that is not usual, it's best you return it back to them and get something else. Because even at the feed shop 2 days ago, they were also making a comment of how they are returning some feeds back to the manufacturers, you know. So it's a bit annoying. So it's very important for we farmers to always do diligent check. Don't just assume that everything will just go fine. Always check on the feed, even if the particular brand has been delivering very well for you. Always check on the expiring dates. Most of these feeds are supposed to last within the space of 60 to 90 days. So check on the manufacturing date and expiring dates of the feed, and also perceive the odor to be very sure that the feed quality is nice. So meanwhile, getting to spend time with them here gives me all insights to know the color of their poo, to know how well they are doing, to also check on their litters to make sure their health status is nice. You know, all of these things are very important. So that's why most morning hours before I head out, I need to also just spend time, observe them to know how they are faring, not just pouring feed and giving them water and going out. So I spend time with them to know how they are faring. So it gives me more insight on what to do and what not to do. So see here, I'm using my legs a little bit. I'm using my bare feet. Before I stepped in here, I disinfected my legs and my hands. So that's why biosecurity is an important factor when you're rearing birds. So sometimes there are some diseases that can be averted if you have a better biosecurity measure. So before I stepped in here, I disinfected my hands and my legs. So the next thing I'm going to do is to drop the feed for them here. So the next thing I will do, I will position one feeder there and one over here, so that they get to spread out more evenly, so they don't get to cluster on one area. So these guys over here, I told you guys I'll be placing them on ration feeding. So in the next few minutes, when I'm done in this space, I'll make sure I evacuate most of these feeders from here, because they will just mess up the whole thing. Even their water source, most time they splash even the wood shavings and cluster the whole of it. So that's why it's even best using nipple drinker for this bed. So unfortunately, my nipple lines cannot extend to this spot where they are. So they'll just still manage with this. Another thing again, I do cover this space where they are. I cover this their space because they tend to fly. They fly a lot. You can see the way they are jumping. They're jumping and flying. So they don't have weight like the broilers. So because of that light weight, it's quite easy for them to just fly around. So that's why if you're rearing Noilers, I will still say it again, be very careful of how your farm space is. Make sure that the place is secured enough that they don't fly out from the space. So guys, my job here is almost done. So I'm glad for everyone that's been following up this series. I really appreciate you for that. So these guys, I'll be giving them feed before I step out. These are the Ross 3/8. So you watching this far, I urge you to just click on the like button. And if you're new to this channel, please do well to subscribe. Please subscribe, please subscribe. Just subscribe so that when next I post a new video, you get to see it as quick as possible. And so that the videos get to reach out to more people by you liking and commenting on it. So thanks for watching this far. And I will see you guys tomorrow when I'll drop a new update of what's happening in the farms.